Coach, we'll get into it. I know last week wasn't what anybody had scripted or what we thought it would be, but something we'll talk about a little bit.
Right. Well, we always, every week we always talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, right? And there was plenty of the bad and the ugly, no doubt about that. But when you go back, we always tell our guys that it's never as bad as it seems, it's never as good as it seems, right? And you go back and look at it, and we had over 400 yards of offense and scored 31 points, and most of the time when we play, that's enough to get a dub, right? And so it didn't happen, but we had multiple turnovers. That's kind of been uncharacteristic of us. We had a couple fumbles from running backs. We had a pick. We had, just kind of one of those weird nights. I think when you talk about the bad and the ugly part of it, you give up that much offense to an opposing team, and the problem is the majority of their drives, if not all of them, were 80 yards, right?
Right.
We were doing a good job of getting some touchbacks, and so they were having to go a long ways, and they were doing it, right? I hate the fact that Liberty finally figured it out this season on the night that we had to play them. What's weird about that is the week before, Liberty played Catholic on a Thursday night. So I went to check them out. And when I got finished watching them, we played the next night, and then Saturday morning we had a staff meeting. So I was talking about Liberty, and I said, they've got a quarterback where if you don't contain him, he can hurt you bad. He can really go. They got a tailback that's awfully special.
Yeah, he's good.
And if he gets to the second level, we're going to be in some trouble, right? So we've got to make sure we contain him in the box. And I said, and they got a big play receiver. On the defensive side, I said they've got two really good corners, or two lockdown corners. And I said, now I think the biggest thing that I was impressed with watching Liberty play against Catholic that night was the fact that no matter what happened on a particular play, they did a tremendous job of flushing it and playing the next play. You didn't see a whole bunch of emotional stuff. You didn't see a whole bunch of them complaining with each other and all that kind of stuff. And I told the guys that. I said, I was impressed. That comes from their head coach. Right? And we're down 10 late in the second quarter. We get a turnover. We kick a field goal. We're down 7 at half. We come out, drive at 80, score, tie the game up. Most teams that we have played against in the past, at that point, there have been some panic. There have been some panic there. And there was zero panic on their sideline, and they lined right back up on their 20-yard line and went on an 80-yard drive and scored. We turned it over on our next possession, and they scored again. So just like that, we tied it up, and then the next thing you know, we're down 14 again. Right? So just kind of one of those weird nights that you got to deal with sometimes. Thankfully, over the course of the time that I've spent here, our football teams have always done a really good job of bouncing back after a loss and trying to get ready to go for that next week. And that's what we're absolutely working on right now. Just trying to be ready to go for this week and flush that and make sure Liberty doesn't beat us twice. That's the biggest thing we're concentrating on right now.
Yeah, and that's everybody's got faith in the program, and we know y'all be right back on the horse. I was involved during my playing career, Brew, with 3 games like that. One was at LSU. We were down 35-3 to Florida. Danny Warfel was the quarterback. Steve Spurrier. They beat us like 53-8 that game. Once was with Coach Dan Reeves. We went to Denver. They were up 35-3 at half and wind up like 58-10. And then once was with Jim Mora Jr. We played Kansas City. Played Kansas City. Same thing. It was like a 58-7 game. Jim Mora Jr., we got done with the game, and we never watched the tape. He was like, forget it. He came in at halftime, was like, let's get through this game healthy. Not our day. One of those deals.
Right.
Coach Reeves had every staff member, every player. We watched every snap together. So two completely different thoughts. But, every now and then you have one of those days where it's just not your night. And,
Tell me, I don't mean to interrupt you, but tell me this. You said Dan Reeves had everybody. So y'all are all in the same room. Offense, defense, coaches.
It was the only time I had ever watched film like that was with that day. Because normally, you come in, you team meeting, and I'm sure probably like y'all do, you talk about the game, your what you did, what you didn't do,
Right.
and then you bust up O&D, and then you talk O&D, you might watch a couple plays together, and then you bust up in position groups. So that film, we watched every offensive snap, every defensive snap, and look, I'm telling you, when you knew you had a play that was about to be bad, you wanted to crawl under the table because it was. I mean, players calling out coaches calling out players. It was a bad deal, So, but the good thing, Coach, y'all get you're back in the saddle this week, and you got Woodlawn coming to town. Around the district, what else went on this week that caught your attention?
I thought Woodlawn played really, really well against Scotlandville. They put up a lot of points against those guys. Woodlawn's got some prolific athletes. They do a good job. They score a bunch of points. So I was impressed with that. I thought the Catholic Central game would be a little closer.
Right.
I haven't seen the film on it yet. I think it was a little closer throughout the course of the game, and then Catholic blew it open later on. So the district's setting up to where we're you close out with Woodlawn Central Catholic. I mean, like you got three tough ones there coming down the stretch. So it's important to make sure that we're taking this thing, try to take it, one game at a time if we can, and really try and flush that from last week and really just try and concentrate on one of those this week. I think that's really the biggest thing right now. And I'll be honest with you, you're hearing lots of things about, the Central game getting changed to Thursday, and then following it up with a Thursday game from Catholic, and I was trying to tell her that. I said, that's a long ways away, man. Right. About all that kind of stuff, but I get it. I mean, high school kids get caught up in emotional stuff and all those kind of things. So the biggest thing I think for us right now is making sure, I've said it now twice, making sure that Liberty doesn't beat us twice.
Right.
We've got to make sure that you're locked in and doing some stuff. And yesterday practice, a little different.
Got after it a little bit.
Yeah. We had little ones and ones there at the beginning, and we call it winners and losers, and you don't compete and you don't execute. Thank you. Your whole side of the ball's got to do a little extra, So there's some little competition stuff there. Got to have that every now and then. But we had a good practice today. We're transitioning right now from morning practices. Now we're back in the afternoon. Right. So watching our guys drenched in sweat today. It was hot, right? And they weren't totally used to that yet. So we got to try to make sure that tomorrow we need to have one of those days where it's crisp, but it's going to be fewer periods tomorrow, and then we'll walk through on Thursday. So, but as far as the district is concerned, obviously, Catholic sitting in the catbird seat right now. They've got. They still have to play Woodlawn, Scotlandville, and then us at the end. So. They're sitting where they want to be, but like I told our guys today, I said, fellas, look, all the goals that you set are still there.
Right.
You want to win a district title, all you got to do is win the rest of your district games. You're going to be a district champion. You want to be a state champion, get to the playoffs and run the table. I mean, that's all that stuff's still right there in front of us. So right now, that's what we're concentrating on, and we're trying to get it right.
We'll take a little break, and we'll be right back. Thank you, guys. joining us, coming back. Y'all keep getting your food in out there. Right now, we're going to bring up Coach Julie Fink to talk about a little bit about her team, the meet they just had, and then we'll bring up a few of her competitors to come up here and talk. Hopefully they don't get shy and they'll be ready to talk when they get in front of the microphone. So Coach, talk a little bit about this past meet, a little bit about your team that you have this year.
Okay, well last week we had our home meet. It was the Broncos Stampede out at Port Hudson, and we had around 26 teams. We had close to 300 athletes. That was in the high school division. And hey, Broncos prevailed. It was awesome. It was awesome. So give it up for the Broncos.
Right, so I forgot. So how long have you been here at Zachary, and what was the program like when you first got here, and how much has it grown to where it is now?
Well, I've been here 6 years, and it was a pretty well established program when I got here. But we've just continued to add the numbers on the boys' side and the girls' side, and we've been producing champions and
awesome.
winning teams and teams that are going after and improving their times and just trying to get better always. So
yeah, that's great. That's great. Like I said, I don't know a lot about cross country, but I've always admired the cross country athlete. I think it takes a little different determination, a little bit more inside to you compete with yourself. Sometimes like in football or basketball or baseball, results are instant, and sometimes with cross country it takes a little bit longer to see results, and I've always admired that about y'all's sport.
I mean, the team this year has one of the differences I really see this year this year from last year is the amount of mileage that the team has put in with the summer training. So
right.
Summer training is really set you up for the fall, and this past summer the kids really put in the miles so that when it came time to start racing this fall, we were ready to roll. And our first race was in Thibodaux at the Eddie Cole Classic, and Max Gennaro, he won the race. He's a Bronco, so that was awesome. And the girls did really well. Blair Smith, she's been leading the girls, and I think she came in, was it fourth, Blair? Yep, she was fourth. I think that's her magic number this season. She was fourth last week at the Broncos Stampede. So
that's awesome.
She's been doing a great job. So anyways, yeah, the guys and the girls have put in a lot of miles. It takes a lot of self-discipline, self-determination in this sport. You don't get a timeout. Once that gun goes off, it's you, that stopwatch, and the finish line.
I've always admired that.
And the guys have, both teams have really done a great job of running as a tighter pack. And when we do that, the way cross country works is you score the top 5.
Okay.
And so the closer we can get our top 5 together without any competitors in between, and the closer we are to that finish line ahead of our competitors, the better we do as a team. So it's all about, one, there's that individual component, but there's also the team component. And once we all start really rolling in the same direction, it's pretty amazing where we go and what we can do. So I feel that energy this year on the team.
Well, that's great. I think it's a good time right now. You talk about your team. If you want to bring up, I know you said you had a few. If you can bring them all up, or we can do 2 and 2, however you want to do it, and maybe introduce them and tell a little bit about each kid.
Okay, that sounds great. I see Emerald out there. Emerald, you want to come up and talk? And I have Blair. I know Blair was planning to talk, and let's see. Erica, you want to come and talk? No, I got to give Erica a shout out because she's been running cross country for a long time. And Erica, come up here, guys.
Coach. I'll scoot over a little bit.
Erica has been running for a long time and ran in middle school and came, as a freshman. She's a junior this year. And this is also a sport of patience. And the longer you've been running, the more time you put in. Anyways, her time's just, she really dropped time this season, and we were really excited about her being part of the girls' team this year and her leadership. And she unfortunately has gotten sidelined with a stress fracture.
Wow.
But I'm telling you, she is at every practice, working with her teammates. Yeah, she's a fighter, and looking forward to getting her back in track and field. In her senior season. Okay, so let me introduce these two young ladies. I've got Emerald Hall. She's a junior. I got two juniors sitting up with us right now, Blair Smith and Emerald Hall. They are leaders on our girls team, both of them. They've been running with me. Well, Emerald's been with me since her freshman year, and Blair came to the program last year. So I think I'm going to let these two young ladies share their thoughts and feelings about the team this year.
Here y'all go. Slide on that. We'll grab it.
Okay. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to? Please go first. It's been very nice being part of the team. Every year is really different with the people there. Like I've been able to run with amazing people every year, and it's just so nice to be a part of this team.
So I'm so happy I joined cross country. Last year was my first year ever doing it, and because I had always done soccer my whole life. But the moment I joined the team, it was unlike anything I'd ever really been a part of. It was so, like, the people on the team, they're so much like my family, and I never, so many people on the team, they just encourage you. Like, while you're running, all you hear is, good job, and everyone's just uplifting each other, because we all know, what we're doing is hard, and if we're in this together, we're going to be stronger and better, and it's just so great being a part of something like that. That makes you feel like you have a purpose, and make you feel like you're doing something, and it gives me so much joy to be a part of this, and maybe to be uplifting for other people as well.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. So I'll ask each of you, what are your plans? I know y'all are both juniors, right?
Yes, sir.
So you have one more year. What are your plans after high school? And then if it's college or if it's going to work, just talk about a little bit, maybe what your major may be. If you don't know, it's okay. Or what your plans are after high school.
I want to be a civil rights attorney, and I want to be a French teacher. I want to go to LSU and major in French and political science, and I think it'll be really cool because I really like doing speeches. So
There you go. Love it. That's awesome.
So my plans after high school are, my main plan is to hopefully go run in college. I want to go to LSU because I want to major in dermatology, and they have an amazing program for that. But I'm also not opposed to going out of state, maybe to North Carolina or somewhere like that. But I want to major in dermatology, and yeah, hopefully run in college too.
There you go. That's awesome. Well, good luck to you girls the rest of the year, and of course we'll be following. And congratulations on your success so far.
Thank you.
I mean, both of these young ladies just make our team better, and just what athletics does for an individual. That commitment, that working hard. You've got setbacks. You pick yourself back up. You dust yourself off and you get back at it. And both of these young ladies epitomize that. And so I'm so fortunate as a coach to have athletes like this on my team.
Yeah, that is awesome. That is awesome. Was there anybody else, Coach, that wanted to come up? Or?
Oh, yeah, I got some guys that want to come up. Let's see. Elijah, you want to come up? Carson, are you interested? No?
Thank y'all, girls.
Robert wants to come up. Okay. So I've got Elijah Donovan and Robert Brown. So Elijah's been with us, been running with me for it's one whole year. And Robert, he moved in from Arkansas, and he joined the team in August. And both of these guys, the commitment and the hard work that they've put in, the amount of time that they've dropped from their race time, their 3-mile race time, is incredible. So, this, again, you put the work in, you commit, you work hard, results happen.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, y'all. We're passing this around. So, each of you guys, what year is it for you?
This is my first year on this cross country team, but it's my 5th year running cross country.
Okay. And what year in school are you?
I'm a freshman.
Freshman. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. And you moved from Arkansas, or?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, the important question: are you a Razorbacks fan or LSU fan?
LSU.
There we go. That's what I like to hear.
Right? That was no brainer. That was a no brainer. Good job, Rob.
And then, what year are you, Bob?
I'm a junior. This is my second year running, like this year.
Okay. So this is the second year you've done it?
Yes, sir.
How do you like it so far? You love it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I've always admired what you guys do, and I'm sure, like the girls talked about, to be a part of a team and to put your body through different things that brings you guys closer together. What are y'all's goals after school? I know you're still a freshman, but I'm sure you got some thoughts on what you want to do after high school.
So I plan to go to Stanford for law school.
Oh, wow.
And after that, I plan to go up to New York.
Mike's moving on you.
I plan to go up to New York to hopefully work in a law firm there for criminal law defense.
Okay, awesome. What about you, Bo?
I would like to run in college. That's one of my goals. But if not, I'd go to LSU for engineering, chemical engineering.
Okay.
That's one of my main goals.
So it sounds like we got some smart kids on your team there, Coach. I love to hear it. Anything else? Any more goals for the year? Anything else you want to talk about or say about your team?
Well, let's see. Next week is the East Baton Rouge Metro Championship, and just to give a shout out to Zachary Cross Country. We are the meet host of that meet, so we have all the area cross country teams participating, and that's Ascension, Livingston, EBR, East Iberville.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
And that'll be at Highland?
That's at Highland Road Park next Wednesday, and we are hosting. So we're gonna make Zachary shine. We're gonna put on a great
That's
meet.
what I'm talking about.
Yep. And then the following week, November 6th, is our regional meet, and that is a big deal for us as cross country competes against. We compete against all the select and non-select schools. So it's a battle to get out of the region.
Oh,
so
man.
we have to be a top 8 team. November 6th. It's Region 2, Division 1. So, yeah, it's
And where
going
is
to be a
that
big
one?
one. That's going to be at Highland Road Park as
Okay,
well, yeah.
okay.
And if we qualify, we're top 8 team, which I predict we will be on both
So
the boys
when
and
you
girls
qualify,
team.
right?
When we qualify, yeah. Then we go on to the state championship in Natchitoches. And the way both of these teams have been racing, I really predict some of our top finishes for Zachary High School and the Zachary
That is
community.
awesome.
Because they race for each other. They don't just race for themselves. They're racing for a higher purpose. And when you race or you do anything for a higher purpose, you find that you got more to give. And I know that these guys have a lot to give, and they're going to put themselves out there for one another. And that's what athletics is all about.
Absolutely. I love seeing it. And let's give a big round of applause for Coach Fink and the cross country team. Thank y'all for coming out
Thanks for
tonight.
having us. We really appreciate it.
We'll take a short break and we'll be right back with Coach Brew.
See, once I get rolling, it takes me.
All right, y'all, welcome back. We're going to go around with Coach Brew, talk about some of the games that caught his attention around the state this week. Coach, what did you see that stood out?
There's a few different games I'll talk about, but first I wanted to just take a second and give congratulations to the cross country program and Coach Fink. It's no small task to put on one of those giant cross country meets. There's people. I went to it last year, and there's people everywhere out there, and so Coach Fink running the show out there did a great job, and obviously our athletes competed at a really high level. So to all you cross country kids in here, man, congratulations. Certainly proud of you. Thank you for representing Z the way you did. A couple games to talk about around the state that were interesting. First and foremost, we got to go down there to the land of the jambalaya, right? The pit down in Sanamon. I heard it was a really close game all the way to the end, and I actually got to see Coach Crowder showed me where I could go on this website and see the game, and so he pulled up. I didn't realize, with 5 minutes to go in the game, I think it was 42-35 East Ascension, and then Sanamon scored, and then East Ascension scored again to make it 49-42, and then Sanamon comes back and scores with 0 time on the clock. The Babin kid, the quarterback, breaks contain, heads for the corner of the end zone, the front pylon. The whole student section is right there. I mean, it's awesome.
I bet place was electric.
Oh my goodness! He goes diving into he dives into like 3 guys, busts through them, falls into the end zone, touchdown. Place is going absolutely insane, and then they go for 2 for the win, and they run the Philly special.
Oh, come on!
And Babin rolls out into the end zone. He's wide open. There's no one around him. The guy's coming around the back and he throws it, and it's a little high, but he goes up and off his hands out the back of the end zone. It would have been unbelievable, right? It would have been unbelievable. But anyway, so that rivalry is unbelievable. It's always a close game, no matter what the records are. It's always a close game. So 49-48, EA comes out on top of that one. The West Monroe Washita game up north. Washita this year has 2 big-time D1 defensive tackles. LSU's all over one of them up there. And they got some skill guys on offense that can just go. They can really run. And West Monroe seems to be putting everything together up there as well. They're playing good ball. Do you know Gene Ponte? You know Gene?
I don't know if I do.
All right, so Gene's kind of like the Steve Schneider up there.
I got you. Okay.
His son plays for West Monroe. His son Christian is the running back, big old thick bowed up running back for him, and he went for like 250 rushing the other night. Yeah, they got after it. It was a really, really close game all the way through, and then West Monroe pulled off. In the end, they pulled away from them. I think they ended up winning by 2 scores. Really, really close game, but those 2 5A battles up there are crazy, man. They are. And then right across, 30 minutes away, it's the annual Ruston-Neville game.
Right, which is another big one.
Right, and Neville is winning like 30-something to 17 going in the 4th quarter. And Ruston kicked the field goal with no time left to win it. Come back and win it.
Oh, wow.
Right.
And Ruston's lost, they've lost 2 this year? 1?
I think just 1. Stevensville, okay. Texas.
Okay.
Now, I've had some really close games. They've come back and won a bunch of games at the end. So those kids, they know how to win, and that's what they're doing up there. So 3 phenomenal 5A football games took place this week across the state, and it's shaping up to be one hell of a postseason run. Once everybody gets there, and the seeds go out, and everybody sees where they are, and the brackets come out, and here we go. So
new season starts in.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
So, Coach, you want to go right into the questions?
Yeah, we can do that. No, we can do that.
Okay. Let's see here. Here's a good one here, Coach. This is from Todd. How has the team responded this week playing on the road against Woodlawn, just how they responded and how tough an opponent is Woodlawn going to be.
Right. I'll say this, you won't truly know how our guys respond to this until we get off the bus and we line up and play on Friday. Then you'll know what our response is as a program, right? I can tell you, practices look good. I can tell you the focus level's been there. I can tell you that the captains called a meeting with me at 2:30 on Sunday afternoon, wanting to talk to me about a couple different things. So I can tell you they seem to be locked into what's going on, but we won't know until we line up against Woodlawn. We'll see. You mentioned being on the road. I told the team nothing like riding the ship by getting on the buses and going to play in someone else's place.
No doubt.
Me personally, I love road games. I love going into someone else's stadium and playing there. Right? No one's calling me that day to tell me that we don't have enough nachos in the concession stand. No one's calling to tell me the Jumbotron doesn't work. No one's right? I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Just got to worry about getting on the bus, heading across town, and going to play. So traditionally, our guys have played really, really well on the road, and I hope that's going to be the case Friday. Part of that question was, what kind of competition are we looking at? I'll tell you, they've got a do-it-all guy, last name Randall. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Marcus's son. He's a heck of a ball player. He plays some quarterback. He plays some wide receiver. He plays some strong safety. And I was watching the film the other day, and Central threw like a little bubble. And so the inside slot had to block the strong safety. And Randall killed this guy, right? And in the next quarter, they throw a bubble to the other side. And Randall smokes this guy, right? So I started looking up, that's him, So David Semino from Central and I were talking this morning about something else, and we were talking about that game, and he goes, by the way, Brew, you watched our film a few times from last week? I said, yeah, I have. When y'all played, talking about when he played Woodlawn. He goes, did you see what Randall was doing to our receivers? I said, I did see that, man. He is much of a man, right? So they got players, man. They got a D1 defensive end. They got some good football players. So, we got to go in there and play a full game and go try to come out of there with a win.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Next question: what team will be the hardest to beat left on the schedule?
Right.
The next one.
Yeah, that next one is awfully important, right? We're not in a position right now as a team to be able to look ahead at anything, to be perfectly honest with you. We got to take care of this one right now. And I think we're in a really precarious situation right now with the team, right? With the performance that we had last Friday night. We've got to make sure we right that ship a little bit and go start playing to our standard again.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go one more, Coach. Diana, how do you support your players in balancing academics and sports?
That's a great question.
Yes,
that is a great question. I'll tell you, we're very fortunate at Zachary to have academic support outside of just our normal administration, right? Coach Julie Fink, who was just up here a second ago, she handles, every single week on Tuesday, I get a printout of any player and that's in our program that may be failing class or not doing well in the class right there. So I get that printout every Tuesday, and I meet with the guys that are on that list, and then they are in mandatory tutoring on Thursday afternoon, Thursday after school. They have to go through mandatory tutoring. We actually hire several of our teachers on campus to stay after school on Thursday and meet with the guys that need extra help with whatever they're doing in the classroom. So I think we try to do everything we can to make sure that if they are having some troubles in some classes, that we're getting them the help and giving them the resources they need to do better with it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You want to go with a couple more, Coach?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Ricky wants to know, other than the Bronco Corral, how does the Rock compare to what we have now?
The Rock, baby, the Rock. Huh. Well, Old Magellan Field, North Baton Rouge. They tell me they call that place the Rock because it used to be an old parking lot where they built the stadium, and every now and then some of that stuff kind of comes back to the surface, right? But what a phenomenal stadium to play a football game in. We had some great times when I was coaching at Redemptor's, and it was rocking on Friday nights. There's no doubt about it. There was a lot of fun, and that's what I want to make sure that all of our people understand in Zachary is that we're certainly lucky to have the kind of program that we have with our kids year in and year out, and the kind of players we're able to put out there. And man, just come and have fun, man. Just make it an event. And I love when people come to our stadium for the first time from other programs, and afterwards, I'll talk with their head coach or whatever, and they're like, "Good Lord, Coach, this place. I mean, the lights are going everywhere, smoke, laser light show going on." He's like, "This is an incredible atmosphere, And it's a Friday night game. There's no doubt, but there's no other venue in the city of Zachary that's going to bring 3,000-4,000 people together like that consistently week after week, and so we have to take advantage of that, and we have to make sure that we're doing everything we can to make it fun for families to come out. In the early days, I had to do some different things to try to bring a little bit of excitement and a little bit to the place. One year, I'll never forget this as long as I live. We're playing Mandeville in a playoff game. Well, Alex Malazzo and Collier Cranford, I had them dressed up. One was in a great white shark costume, and one of them was in a Tyrannosaurus Rex costume. And I had them walking around during pregame, and I told them, I said, "Fellas, listen, the only rule I have is you can't cross midfield. You've got to stay on our side." Right?
I remember.
He said, "So we can taunt the other team as long as we don't go over the 50-yard line." I said, "Yeah, that's the only rule, right?" So after the game, we won, and the head coach and I were talking, and he says, "Coach, man, this is a difficult place to play, And I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, just the atmosphere is incredible. You got all this stuff going on." He goes, "And then there are these two guys dressed up in a shark suit and a dinosaur suit, and they're just taunting our players before the game, and our players are pissed, and they're yelling at them, and he's like, and they were all in their head. They kept coming over here." I said, "Wait a second, did they cross over midfield?" He goes, No. I said, "Good, because I told him, you can do anything you want, just don't go over midfield." He said, "You told him to do that?" I said, "Well, Coach, we got to have a little fun while we're out of here."
That's kind of like Coach Clay that Sid used to bring out the Darth Vader costume.
That's right.
I love it.
That's right.
We'll go with another one, Coach. My eyesight's going bad. I think it's Alicia. What do you believe is the most important quality that you try to instill in your athletes, and how do you go about it daily?
Wow, that's a great question. To me, high school sports is built on personal relationships, right? It's built on personal relationships between like athlete to athlete, athlete to coach, coach to coach. And it's really the one thing that we have left in high school that separates us now from college athletics and professional athletics, where those are so business oriented. I ask our guys all the time to try to make sure that they're competing really hard, for themselves and for their family and everything, but competing really hard for their teammate as well. And that's easy to say, but sometimes hard to do. And then on the flip side of that, asking your teammate to put their trust in you as well, right? So from a personal relationship standpoint, to me, That's the most important thing, because if you're able to be counted on now as a teenager, when you become a husband or a wife or a father or a mother down the road, and now you have families that are counting on you as an adult, you're already prepared for that. You've already done some of those things in your life to get you ready to go, right? And so that's the biggest thing for me. It's trying to make sure that we're all holding ourselves accountable, but we're holding each other accountable as well. And I think that's really important.
Yeah, that's really great. Y'all, we appreciate y'all coming out tonight for the Coach Brew Show. Make sure y'all travel over to Woodlawn as Coach Brew and the squad try to go get this team back on track and then get a little momentum going into the playoffs. Coach, appreciate y'all letting me come help host the show tonight. Warren threw me under the bus and had me come after the first loss of the year.
Right. Well, we certainly appreciate you coming, man. Thank you very much. To everybody that came out tonight, thank you for being here. Again, congratulations to the cross-country team and the success that they're enjoying right now. I apologize on behalf of the football program for the performance that we gave last Friday night. That's not who we are. It's not what we are. That's certainly not what we aspire to be. I promise you that product will look a little different this week. And would love to have everybody travel over there to South Baton Rouge, Woodlawn High School, where we try to get back on track and get a win. So we appreciate the support. Thank you very much. Go Broncos.
Yes, sir.